this season of Easter, we will hear a lot about the movement and action of the Holy Spirit. And today, the gospel reading comes from the 3rd chapter of the Gospel of St. John, and it is very early. And one of the leading Pharisees and a leader of the Jewish people has caught wind and heard about what Jesus is doing. And he comes to him, and St. John, the evangelist, notes he comes at night. He comes at night to see the light, God's light in this world. And he comes and he's trying to figure out who Jesus is. And when Jesus responds to him, it's this conversation that is going at 2 different levels. And I feel for Nicodemus, because he says one thing and Jesus responds in such a way that is going to fly right over his head and he's not going to be able to catch it. And Jesus is talking about a person being born again. And it is through the gift of the Holy Spirit. And maybe it's fortunate that he speaks in this way, because to fully understand what Jesus is saying, we need to be baptized. We need to receive the Spirit to understand the Spirit. We need to be born again in the waters of baptism to really undertake this project of being followers of Christ. It is with his help and with the Holy Spirit who is given that we'll be able to understand the teaching of the kingdom. So throughout this season of Easter, it is going to be the promise and fulfillment of the coming of the Holy Spirit. We live in the time of the Spirit. Jesus has ascended into heaven, and he lavishly gives this Holy Spirit to his church and to his followers. And it is embracing and through this Spirit that we will understand who we are, what is our mission, and where we are headed. Nicodemus in this gospel reading is the person who comes at night, perhaps out of fear or perhaps because of the darkness of not having received the fullness of the Holy Spirit. As we read this, let us read this through the grace that is given to us through baptism and through confirmation, through the outpouring of the Holy Spirit on the life of the church and through the teaching of the church, that we may truly understand who we are and where we are going. Through the gift of the Holy Spirit, may indeed we become that bold people who proclaim Christ crucified and risen and present in his people.